shit. Oh, okay. So we got sound. Yeah, we do. Okay. Bet. Good morning. How you all doing this morning? Crust out your eyes. This is a new show, new live stream I'm doing after every big fight. This is the MMA Morning After. I've got a cup of OJ here and a Game of Thrones glass. No promo. Bowl of salmon and rice. Nice little southern dish. But let's talk about last night's fights. UFC 258. Kamaru Usman versus Gilbert Durinho Burns. Great main event. Let's go over what happened in the main event. Have a conversation about it. First thing that came to mind after that fight, Kamaru Usman's a bad man. Kamaru, despite him getting hit with a volley of shots by Burns in that first round, like legit, like if anyone else had taken those shots, I'm quite sure that Burns would be champion. He came back and he stalked Burns down. Like his left jab is one hell of a problem. It is real interesting to see that someone that is pretty good in certain categories, like in terms of conditioning, cardio, and just putting you against the fence and wearing you out, has striking now. I think him going up to Denver, Colorado, and leaving his former gym with the Black Zillions and all those guys, and him going with Trevor Whitman and getting more of a striking aspect to his game, that's going to make him very dangerous going forward against a lot of people. You got to think about the Colby Covingtons of the world, the Jorge Masvidals of the world, the Leon Edwards, the Cosmots of the world, the Stephen Wonderboy Thompsons. It'll be real interesting what he does. He broke GSP's record yesterday for the longest streak of welterweight wins at 13. So now it's at 13. And Joe Rogan asked a good question yesterday after the fight. Who's next? Simply, who can he fight next? I mean, looking at the list, he beat Colby Covington. He pretty much dominated that fight. Against Jorge Masvidal, of course, the excuse is going to be Masvidal only has 6 days to get ready, but you had 6 days and you jumped in the Shark Tank, baby. It's hard for me to just say, well, you only have 6 days. And Kamaru has said, I'll give you a full camp. We can run it back. I don't want to have any excuses with you. I want to put you away. He beat Leon Edwards already. The only person he hasn't fought is Wonderboy. And Wonderboy is too low in the rankings for them to fight right now. And Kamaru made a really great point during the press conference he gave yesterday, which was all the guys that are in the top 5 are not trying to fight each other because they know that if they do, they're going to have to fight me next. But they're not calling me out. And it's mad interesting to see what happens. I think he could go down the greatest welterweight of the world. If he rematches with Jorge, Colby, or Leon and beats them, he can make a case for the greatest welterweight of all time. GSP is GSP, man, but Kamaru was on his heels. And for Gilbert Burns, I think the biggest thing that came out of this fight is his stock didn't go down, but he, in those kind of fights, those kind of 5-round fights, he needs to pace himself a little bit better. I think if he paced himself to go 5 rounds, then he could have won this fight. I also think that while he does have knockout power, he needs to get better at striking, because he was just taking Kamaru Usman's jab. It wasn't even funny how he was taking it. It was damn near like on like like as a rhythm almost for Kamaru. Like he knew exactly when to throw it and how to throw it. There was the biggest knockdown that led toward the end was Burns was coming in, came in, had his hands raised just a little bit, and Kamaru just sniped him. And the second he sniped him, because of Burns' forward movement, caught him off guard. He got hit, got clipped, and went back and fell down. Looking at the numbers officially, Kamaru Usman had 2 knockdowns to Burns' 0. He landed 62.4% of his strikes compared to Burns landing 44.4. Significant strikes, he was higher. Kamaru was higher than that, 61% versus 41.7. And Burns attempted 3 takedowns that did not work. There were no submission attempts. It was a great fight. It was a really great fight. And for people that are just the casual fans that didn't watch this fight, I strongly suggest you go back and watch this fight. I can make the argument that Kamaru is the new generation Demetrius Johnson in the sense of he's no shit talking, no shit taking, but when he gets in that range, he's damn near surgical. It's going to take a real savage to come in there and beat him. So we'll see what happens next. I think the Jorge Masvidal fight is next, even though I personally, if it was me, I would do Leon Edwards. I would do Leon Edwards versus Kamaru, and then just let Kobe and Jorge sort their shit out. The thing about it is, I think they want to do they want to do the Ultimate Fighter with somebody, and those two are the two that are Kamaru and somebody are seen as the two they want to do. So I don't think Kobe and Jorge will do it because there's not enough censor button in the world to stop those two from cursing at each other. Look at the co-main event with Macy Barber and Alexa Grasso. Grasso had a damn good game. I mean, good fight. She outstruck Macy 58.6% in total strikes and 46.9% in significant strikes to Macy's 30.3% and her 26.3% significant. That being said, though, Macy did get her down 3 out of 5 times, and Grasso did not want to take this fight to the ground, but she got a submission attempt in. The thing that I love about this fight is I love how going to the 3rd round, I thought, okay, Grasso's got this in the bag, and then Macy just turned it the fuck on in the 3rd round, and that's kind of the issue I have with Macy is. And no disrespect to Macy whatsoever, but had she turned on that pace in the 1st or 2nd round, it would have been a different fight as far as I'm concerned. I think Macy is a young talent, but she was coming off of an injury. So I think that she definitely has some work to do, but I think she's not far away from getting her goal being in championship contention. She was number 10 during this fight, and I believe Grasso was number 15. They'll probably switch numbers going to the new rankings coming up next week. But yeah, it was a really good fight. Kelvin Gastelum had a good fight as well against Ian Heinch. It was a decision round, 3-round decision. While Kelvin did get outstruck, like Kelvin didn't throw as many punches or in strikes as Ian. And Ian had 2 mean Kimura locks on Kelvin. Kelvin just kept with the pace, man. I call Kelvin Baby Vegeta because after his fight against Izzy is the middleweight to Goku at this point. He's just an anomaly that can't be explained in any kind of capacity. But Kelvin is championship material. We got to remember that Kelvin, 2 years ago, was fighting for the interim belt, and 3 losses later, and he's looked at basically at, does the guy not fight anymore? Should he retire? He's still in this, man. I think if I said this last night, if Izzy wasn't in the UFC, Kelvin would be fighting for a belt and would be top 2 every year. I think that loss definitely hurt him, and he had to go reevaluate his game. And you see how he did it, and sure that the last couple of fights it didn't work well for him, but I think once he begins to understand his pace and can implement his pace, he'll be unstoppable. But that was one of the main fights I really want to talk about for 258. I want to kind of go into 259. Actually, not 259. The next fight, which is UFC Fight Night Blaydes versus Lewis. So, Curtis Blaydes, Derek Lewis. My oh my. Heavyweights, this is going to be a real interesting fight. Blaydes is going to go for, despite them both being heavyweights, Blaydes is going to go for a submission. That's just who Blaydes is. It'll be real interesting seeing how Lewis can counter that. Because Lewis, we already know what Lewis is going to do. Lewis going for the knockout. Like, he gonna keep it real simple and stupid. Like, or keep it simple, stupid. They pretty much have identical, they're pretty much identical everywhere. 6.2 height for Lewis, 6.3 height for Blaydes, 265 versus 260 on the weight. Blaydes giving him 5 more pounds, and Blaydes has a 1-inch reach advantage. So they're pretty much identical in how they're built. It'll be a real interesting fight. I'm right now, I'm gonna go with Lewis getting the knockout because I can only see it ending with Lewis getting the knockout or Blaydes getting the submission. I don't think this will go to decision. Most heavyweight fights really rarely do. But I think it's gonna be a really great fight. The next one on the card is Ketlin Vieira versus Yana Kunitskaya. So actually, I think I can share my screen with y'all. Give me 1 second. Share screen, Chrome tab. Let's just go here. All right. Let's see. Picture in picture. There we go. All right. So tail of the tape. Vieira is 29. So two-year age advantage for Yana. Pretty much identical fight. I think this fight, if I had to bet, I'm gonna bet on Yana getting the fight. I think Yana has more experience than her, and it's pretty much identical reach. It's gonna be really interesting seeing what happens in that fight because this is the second co-main event that the women have had. The card's pretty solid. I will say that the card is pretty solid. It's a pretty early card too. I think the fight starts at 8. The main card starts at 8. The main card starts at 8. The prelim card starts at 5. Alski's fighting this card. Oh, that's gonna be a damn good fight. Jakar Close versus Louis Piana, Eddie Wineland versus John Castaneda. I'm really wondering what they're gonna do with Sean O'Malley. We have not heard in a minute. So yeah, that's Blaydes versus Lewis. You then got Rosenstrike versus I don't even know what to think about the fight. Not a lot of people on that fight. I'm really enjoying, and they only got 3 fights announced for that fight. So I want to go to 259 real quick, and let's talk about. That's probably gonna take up the majority of the video. Nope, come on, come on. Okay, so let's start the prelims first off. Prelims fight. Oh my god, this prelims is jacked. Dominic Cruz versus Casey Kenny. Dominic does not have to take this fight if he doesn't want to. Dominic's a Hall of Famer, no matter how y'all want to splice it. He really is. Casey Kenny is a young guy coming up. I think that'll be a really interesting fight to see. Does Dom still have it? Is Dom still championship material? Is Dom worth his price in gold? And can he get back in the championship rankings quickly? Sonya Kong versus Kyla Phillips is going to be a great fight. Elizabeth Adidas versus Askarov. Going to be a barn burner. So we got some good prelim fights. But the main card, let's talk about it. Because I have thoughts on all three title fights. So let's start with Aljo versus Peter Yan. I do not know how this fight's gonna go because I don't know what Sterling we're gonna get. I don't know what Aljo we're gonna get. If we get the Aljo that showed up and blanked out Corey Sandhagen, Aljo will be the first African American. Yeah, I think I think he would be. He'd be the first African American bantamweight in the UFC. Yan has striking. That's not without question. The thing Aljo's been saying a lot is that you ducked me and fought Aldo, who was a little bit past his prime, to get a belt. I think that fight will be the most exciting fight of the night because it's the one fight we don't know what's going to happen. We simply don't know how this fight is going to go. We don't know if Yan can actually hold if Yan's wrestling can match Aljo's in submission game. Is going to be a very interesting fight from that standpoint. But if I had to pick, I would pick shit. So Peter Yan's only lost one fight. Aljamain Sterling has lost 3. Most of them have been by knockout, though. Let's tell the tape real quick. Tell the tape. Oh, no, that's not what I want. Okay, tell the tape. Okay, Aljo has 3 years on him. Virtually identical in height and weight. Aljo has a 4-inch reach advantage. That's going to be very interesting. So by that standpoint, Yan's gonna have to get in close. Yan's gonna have to. He can't strike from distance. He's gonna have to strike from up close. But Aljo's got to protect his face. Aljo is. We've seen before. Aljo can get cracked and has gotten cracked before. So it'll be really interesting how this fight plays out with these two because we don't know if. We really don't know how this fight's going to turn out. I really don't. That's one fight I'm looking forward to that fight more than any of the other fights. The next one, the co-main event, the women's greatest of all time, Amanda Nunes. Let's go to 259 because I'm quite sure they got the stats already on UFC's website. So let's go there real quick. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Okay, March 6th. All right. Let's look at it. All right. Megan hasn't fought in a minute. Megan has not fought in a minute. Amanda fought last year in that fight. Amanda is giving up some height, and she is giving up some reach advantage. This will probably be Amanda's toughest fight so far. This is almost like a simulation of the fight that she had against Cyborg. Cyborg doesn't have. I don't think she's as balanced of a fighter as Megan is. So, yeah. So we looking at it. Amanda wins by just knocking people out. She takes people out. It's very rare that she gets a decision. With Megan does. She's pretty even on all of them. Like, so majority of her fights are either by submission or decision. Her knockdown average is 0, but Megan doesn't spend a lot of time in there. She doesn't spend a lot of time in there to fight. Let's look at significant strikes real quick because that's probably going to end up painting more of a picture. Okay, so that's something, man. That's a lot. So Nunes throws 4.43 per minute. Megan throws 1.81, 51 to 43. she absorbs more too, and then her defense, Amanda's defense is just out this world. Grappling, Amanda's. It's pretty much coming all Amanda, and Megan is a dog in this fight. Megan in this fight. That's without question. The question that really matters is what can Megan do after seeing so much from the sidelines? What can she do that will change what everyone thinks is going to happen? It is going to be Amanda steamrolling her. It'd be mad difficult. It's really hard for me to say that somehow Megan is going to come out here and dominate this fight. But shit can happen, man. We got about 3 weeks before this fight happens. It's in Vegas. We don't know. I want to go back to Jan and Sterling and see those stats and see how that might change my opinion. So from the look of it, Sterling mostly wins by some. He doesn't win by KO or TKO, while Jan basically wins by only KO and the decision. Almost virtually identical in both. All landed per minute, a little bit of a difference. Strikes thrown. Aljo has that. Absorb per minute. Aljo actually had that one. I'll be damned. Defense, very identical. Grappling, I'm expecting Aljo to have a lot of these. Oh, well, actually, no. Takedown accuracy. Jan has a higher takedown accuracy and a higher takedown defense. But Aljo's looking to is going to the ground anyway, because he's been able to get submissions from a defensive spot too, from a guard as well. And then submission average, Aljo's got that. So I think Aljo's going to win. I think Aljo will win the bantamweight title. I don't see anyone beating Amanda Nunes for a very long time. And I think Nunes will probably win this by decision. I don't think it's going to be a knockout. I wouldn't be shocked if it was, but I don't see it being a TKO win for her against Megan. And if Megan could win this, that'd be the shock of the century. But that leads us to the main event. Israel Adesanya versus Jan, legendary Polish power, Blachowicz. Both, actually, the last time they fought, each of these guys fought that was on the same card. It was on Fight Island. Jan fought Dominic Reyes. Izzy fought Paulo Costa. The reason Jan this is a kind of a toss-up is because Jan, I need you all to think about this. When Jan fought Dominic Reyes was coming off a fight with arguably one of the greatest of all time in Jon Jones. And everyone thought that Dominic Reyes beat Jon Jones. Jon Jones relinquishes the light heavyweight belt. He is going to move up to heavyweight. And the fight to make is Jan versus Dominic Reyes for the belt. Jan goes out there and smokes Reyes in not even 2 rounds. Izzy, as the main event for that card, goes out and smokes Paulo Costa, a bigger dude who realistically is a walking light heavyweight at middleweight. So this fight is for Jan's middleweight, his light heavyweight crown that he just won. Meaning Izzy would he be the 4th champ? Let's see. Just to look it up. I think he would be. No, he'd be the 5th. He'd be the 5th champ. Because currently the first was Connor, then Daniel Cormier, Henry Cejudo, and Amanda Nunes. So she's the first woman to be the double champ. So he'd be the 5th double champ of 2 divisions that are arguably the most hailed divisions in the sport. We know that. Let's go back to Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman, if the lightweight and welterweight divisions are a sea full of sharks, he is running around that motherfucker like a megalodon. There's no way to put it other than that. Those two I would say are the hardest divisions to win a title in. Middleweight and light heavyweight, even heavyweight, are the prize divisions. Those are divisions that get the most eyes because it's the biggest dudes in the world, the biggest, baddest dudes. Let's see in the world of Titans who actually is God. So looking at this fight, Izzy's actually taller than him. I did not know that. Izzy's taller than Jan. He's a 2-inch height advantage. So the one thing that's really important right here is the weight. The weight is going to be a serious thing going into this fight. The reason I say that is because Jan is 216 right now. He has to weigh at 205 to get this fight to a championship fight. Izzy has to get to 205 to get this fight a championship fight. The thing about this though is Izzy is a natural 205er. So if Izzy's a natural 205er, how does his striking? Is his striking more crisp? Is he more energized? I wouldn't say crisp. I would say, does his striking truly change from him not having to make a weight cut versus him having to make a weight cut and do a camp? Does it really change much? Because if it doesn't, and it's the same level of striking that we've seen when he went up against Robert Whittaker, when he went up against Yoel Romero, and then Paulo Costa, if his striking has not changed, Jan's gonna have to hit him with a blitzkrieg, because if he tries to go into a war of striking with Izzy, Izzy's gonna get him up out of there real quick. Izzy has a 2-inch reach advantage on with the hands, and has a 1/2-inch reach advantage with the legs. So the question relies in if Jan's gonna win this fight it would have to be it will almost have to be by submission, because Izzy doesn't go to the ground. Izzy doesn't need to. I'm gonna strike and bang with you. That will be really interesting seeing what happens with this. He has a 74% win average by TKO or KO. I think with Izzy, he hits at so many different angles. It's going to be really difficult to see Izzy lose a fight like this. Like, this is a fight that almost made him. It's a big dude. It's a big target. And if you make yourself available, if I can hit you where I need to hit you, it'll be real interesting what happens in this fight. Average fight time. Izzy has more average fight time than Jan had. That's not a detriment. That means Jan probably gets people out of there quicker. Knockdown average 1.18 versus 0.45. So Jan doesn't have a lot of knockdowns. He has a lot of knockouts. Significant strikes. This is Izzy all the way. 3.96 versus 3.45. Virtually tied at significant strikes. Absorb per minute. Actually, Izzy does less, because Izzy doesn't take that many punches. Izzy can hit you from, like, he could be going backwards and still hit you. Defense, higher strike defense than Jan. That's not surprising. Grappling, of course, Izzy's gonna end up having less takedown average than Jan. Takedown accuracy, of course. Takedown defense, Izzy's is higher. Of course, Izzy will be higher in that situation because you can't get Izzy down. You got to catch him first. And if you do catch him, I'm hitting you with a knee strike. Submission average. Surprisingly, submission average, Izzy is higher. That is very surprising. So going into this fight, who do I think is going to win? I think Jan has a tough chin. Jan has one hell of a chin. He really, really does. Jan has one hell of a chin. Izzy is Izzy, though. And Izzy can find holes in people's game. I'm going to go with Izzy wins by either the 4th round or he wins by decision. And if Jan were to win, it would have to be a 1st round TKO. But I think Izzy's gonna end up being the double champ. And we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm going with Izzy. I think Izzy can make history. And he could put himself in the top 5 of greatest of all of pound for pound right now. So we'll see what happens. It's about 30 minutes, so that's enough time for break for breakfast. You guys can enjoy your day. Hope you all have a happy Sunday. Much love to you all. Thank you all for joining. I'll be doing more like these. So I'll be doing one for after the March 6th card. So on March 7th, I'm coming back here for that. We got some planned for next week as well. So check the schedule on my Instagram and Twitter. See you guys later. Have a good day. Peace and much love.